It's a weird thing to have someone tell you to dislike a video. YouTube is kind of cagey on what counts as a shorts view. Getting people to watch and rewatch the video is absolutely key. This experiment really validated that dislikes put a ceiling on your video. Let's get into it. Last week I published 7 different YouTube shorts, all exactly the same except for one small section. And to understand why I did that, I should tell you that my end goal is to learn how to tell better stories and get more views on my videos. The problem I'm facing right now though is that I don't know what types of engagement will get more views. Is it likes, comments, retention, dislikes? I don't know. So in order to figure out what types of engagement get the most views, I created 7 slightly different versions of the same short form video, all with one different section that asks viewers to engage in different ways. Today I'm going to highlight a few of the most interesting takeaways that will give you actionable insight into how you can make better videos and drive more engagement. And I'll just say up front that by the end of my experiment, I couldn't believe how effective one particular type of engagement was: dislikes. Let's get into it. I started publishing YouTube videos in December of 2023, and I had some videos do well and some do not so well. And this prompted me to start asking, what are some of the factors that contribute to a video getting views? Most creators say to focus on retention, but I wanted to get a little bit more specific for my own learning. So I decided to select one specific variable and run a test to identify, in this case, what type of engagement leads to more views. So there are a few terms we need to define before we get into the experiment. First, engagement. Engagement is any action that a viewer takes that indicates that they are watching the video and have some kind of a reaction to it. It could be a like, a dislike, they could comment, maybe they subscribe, maybe they watch the whole video, or maybe they watch the whole video a couple of times. Any and all of these could count as some form of engagement. I actually break engagement down into 2 categories: active engagement and passive engagement. Active engagement is where you're doing something that YouTube can track to you wanting to engage with the video. It could be clicking the short thumbnail on the For You page. It could be watching the video 2 or 3 times, liking, disliking, commenting, clicking a link, reading the description, viewing the channel, watching more videos from the creator, or potentially subscribing. These are all events that occur that YouTube can track and correlate to a viewer actively engaging with a video. Active engagement means something about the content has inspired you to take an action. Passive engagement is where you're watching and engaging, but more like a lurker. Maybe you watch the video the whole time. You scroll through lots of videos, but you aren't doing anything but watching. It's mostly passive. YouTube gives you content, you watch it, move it along. Doesn't inspire you to take any further action. An impression is when someone is presented with your video, either in the Shorts feed or on the For You page. A view, turns out, is actually not super clear, and YouTube is kind of cagey on what counts as a shorts view. They've openly said,
I think different platforms count views differently. What we try and do with a view is have it encode for your intent of watching that thing so that creators feel like that view has some meaningful threshold that the person decided to watch. There's a bunch of different logic behind the scenes that goes into this, like whether or not you explicitly took an action to watch it is different than if you found it in a feed, and how much time you spend on it. All that goes into whether or not the sort of view threshold is met. We don't publish it because every time we look at a new surface or there's some new interaction, we may tweak that. We don't want people to try and game it.
So with that explanation, as far as I can tell, a view is someone watching a video for more than a few seconds and someone doing something that indicates that they want to watch it, so some form of engagement. That's not a great definition, but it's what we have to work with. So now that I have a clear and measurable definition for my terms, it's time to set up a test. In order to identify what types of engagement lead to more views, I need to design an experiment that would tell me which types of engagement actually do lead to more views. I decided to focus on 6 different types of engagement: like, dislike, comment, subscribe, watch once, and watch more than once. So first, I needed a baseline, or a control test. For that, I created a video that basically outlines what I was trying to do, and at the end, asked viewers to like the video. This would serve as my control. Now, I know this isn't a perfect control, but it's as close as I can get here. Then, using the same meat and potatoes of that video, I recorded 6 different calls to action. By doing this, I could ensure that the only variable that was changing between the 7 videos was the call to action. When testing, you want to reduce variables as much as possible so you can actually isolate what's working. With all 7 of these videos ready, I was ready to launch and start to observe the results. Now, like any good experiment, this one had a few hiccups. At first, I uploaded all 7 videos at the same day, same time, and only a few of them were getting shown to viewers. So right off the bat, I found the first takeaway, which is only upload a couple of variants to YouTube at a time, or YouTube just won't show your videos. To solve this, I delisted some of the videos that weren't getting views and re-uploaded on a different day at a different time to try to give them a second attempt. Technically, this is introducing another variable, but I figured I'd rather have some data than no data at all. So even after this, 2 of the videos just never got enough views to reach significance, so there might be a retest in the future, but with some different angles. Eventually, almost all the videos had some views, and I was able to start to do some analysis to study the results. Here's the Google Sheet I used to consolidate all the data, and I won't bore you with too deep an analysis, but basically there were a few things that stood out. First, the dislike video got a lot of views, and unsurprisingly, a lot of dislikes. The watch this video more than once video got a lot of likes and a high view duration and average percentage viewed. Next, the control video had the most likes with the CTA at the end. So here's some of the learnings that I get from that. 1. Dislikes are a powerful engagement tool that does get results, but it has a low ceiling. I also think the dislike video had a very compelling hook, or like a CTA at the beginning, because it had a super duper high average view duration, 19 seconds on a 21-second video, and the highest average percentage viewed at 88% of all 7. But I think the fact that people were disliking the video was actively working against it. It's a weird thing to have someone tell you to dislike a video, so I think that creates some kind of a tension that makes you want to understand what's happening. Another big learning is that average view duration and average percentage viewed are the best engagements to get more views. Every video that did reach significance did so because of the average view duration and average percentage viewed. Getting people to watch and rewatch the video is absolutely key. So what can we learn from all this? 1. Focus on creating videos that get watched all the way through, or ideally more than once. Retention actually is the key. 2. Any type of engagement can be a nice boost, but no engagement has a stronger effect than retention. And 3, dislikes can actively sink your video, which was surprising to me. I always just kind of figured that a dislike was somebody expressing something, and in most of my tests, dislikes were good. A video that was getting a lot of dislikes seemed like it was also getting a lot of views. But this experiment really validated that dislikes put a ceiling on your video. They might get a lot of views, any kind of engagement is good engagement, but enough dislikes will cap YouTube showing that video to other people. So with those takeaways, let me know what other tests I should run. I just launched a test focused on hashtags, the video will come out soon, and I'm developing some new tests based on hooks, video length, number of cuts, external clips, first image, and more. If you have ideas for other things I should test, leave them in the comments and let me know. And lastly, subscribe.